Hello everybody. So this is a continuum for the previous video where we discussed all the system buses, the control bus, address bus and data bus. There we discussed that control bus and address bus are unidirectional and the data bus is bidirectional because the control bus needs to control only the CPU to the hard disk. That is, the hard disk does not control the CPU, only the CPU controls the address bus. Control. Also, the address bus gives the information of the address to the hard disk, not of the CPU to the hard disk, because hard disk cannot process it. But the data bus used to transfer to data between each and every object, such as from the processor to the hard disk and from the hard disk to the processor. That is why we have bidirectional data bus. Now you know that as CPU interacts directly with main memory, any data entered from input device or data to be accessed from the hard disk needs to be placed between the main memory for further processing. The data is then transferred between the CPU and main memory using buses. The CPU places the address of the main memory location from which it wants to read data or to write data. While executing the instructions, the CPU specifies the read or write control signal to the control bus. As the CPU may require to read data from the main memory or to write data to the main memory, a data bus is bidirectional, but the control bus and address bus are unidirectional. To write data into memory, the CPU places the data on the data bus, which is then written to specific addresses provided through the address bus. In case of a read operation, the CPU specifies the address and the data is placed on the data bus by the dedicated hardware called the memory controller. The memory controller manages the flow of data and in and out of the computer's main memory. Thank you and stay tuned.